A Twist in Time, Chapter 22, King's Despair. Back before the birth of Catra, King Mycenius, also known as King Minos, writes to his beloved queen 2 weeks before he vanishes.
My most beloved and loveliest of desert roses, I have suspicion that there is foul play within our ranks if I do not return. My dearest Elena, it means something has happened to me. Please take care of yourself and the kitten within your womb, as I cherish you with all my love and deepest thoughts. Our daughter will be just as beautiful as you. I know it seems hard that we are at war with the Horde, but I shall return in 2 weeks' time. We are setting up camp beyond the northern border. My men are tired, but we must protect our women and children at all costs. We have food and supplies, so no need to send more. The rest of the rebellion has at our aid. By the might of the shield and blade of my sword, I will fight till my dying breath.
The king's letter reaches the queen 2 weeks after she hadn't heard a single word of how he was doing. She could sense something amiss as she rubs her pregnant belly, Catra, in her womb. She needed all her remaining strength, as the kitten would enter the world in a few weeks. Little did she realize the informant was one of her most trusted advisors. Elena knew she had a duty to uphold as Queen of Half Moon. Catra, the already feisty onboard kitten, she kicks her mother in the stomach, making the queen jump up from her throne and head to the kitchens for food. 2 weeks beforehand, King Minos rallied his troops for a meeting as the next battle strategy was needed. Amongst the soldiers was advisor Longfang. He was the scruffy elder Magicat and the queen's longtime caregiver. Since Elena was younger, her mother had gone blind after being shot by a horde bot in the face, causing Elena to take the throne at an early age of 15, while not queen yet. Longfang had watched out for Elena, but he had something dark within him, a secret side, as if he was a totally different feline altogether. Little did the royal couple know, but Longfang wasn't on their side at all, merely a horde informant, a spy.
Are you ready for our meeting, Longfang? We must discuss our plan of attack against the Horde.
The king asks the advisor with a smile. Yes, my king. I shall meet you in my private tent. Longfang smiles back, his almost black coat hard to spot in the darkness of night.
Very well, though I think we should discuss this with our troops first.
Minos arches his brow suspiciously. My king, let them rest. Can you not see that they are tired from holding back the Horde bots? The advisor asks rather dryly. The king sighs and nods, following the elder Magicat to his tent. Behind the advisor's back, however, was a blade. Minos did not realize that he would never get home, nor would he see his daughter grow up. This would be his final moments alive. Once the evil deed is done, the Horde spy laughs as the ex-king of Half Moon takes his last breath, red liquid pooling around him. War. This war had been going on for 1,000 years, first with the first ones attacking to harvest Aetheria's magic for their own weapons, to fight their oldest enemy, the evil man himself, Horde Prime. It was the first ones, these Eternians, who had brought the Horde here in the first place. Countless lives had been lost during this war. The king shall no longer be a problem, my lord. Longfang smirks as he looks at the screen, meeting the gaze of Hordak. Excellent. Your representation serves you well, Horde spy. Lord Hordak sneers wickedly. Now you have full access to the queen, and her little brat, Half Moon, is yours for the taking, my lord. The Horde spy bows to his master. The dead king had lay there, in the advisor's tent, still warm to the touch, and easy to move, as the spy disposes of any evidence of the king's assassination. He takes the king's body, throws it into a hole in the sand, and covers it, leaving no trace of the king. He comes back to Half Moon days later.
My queen, I am sorry to tell you this. The king has vanished. He told me himself to give this to you if anything ever happened to him.
Longfeng bows before Queen Elena, handing her the king's letter he had found while sneaking around the dead king's tent to seek any information for the horde. Elena puts her hand to her lips as tears form in her sapphire eyes. It cannot be. Surely he must be all right. Maybe captured by the enemy. My Minos will return. Elena reads the letter, opening the golden-laced paper, but with shaking hands. She sobs hard as emotions flood within. She was wrong. The king would never return. Soon the horde would be here, as they are only weeks away from the Halfmoonian borders. The rebels had kept the horde at bay, giving their ally time to bring her daughter into the world. Queen Angela was one of Elena's oldest friends and allies. Even though they were on separate sides of the planet, Bright Moon would come to the aid of Half Moon at any cost, as Half Moon had many exotic delicacies and animals worth protecting. Word of the Halfmoonian king's disappearance spreads throughout the rebellion. They had to act fast, or Half Moon would be no more. Queen Elena brings Catra, the new hope for the kingdom, into the world of Etheria's darkest hour. The infant Halfmoonian princess opens her hydrochromic eyes for the first time, the queen smiling with both joy and sadness, as one of her daughter's eyes was of her father, the king, who would never get to see the jewel of Half Moon. Time was not on Half Moon's side. As the hours pass, the horde was on the queen's doorstep. Long live the queen.